I have a story, but the story might be very, like... It's not the best story. But anyway, story time! Bam bam! Chat, sit back, relax. I have a crazy story to tell you, but some parts... This story ain't even, like, the craziest funny story, but... I encountered a homophobe. No way! The first time I actually went outside and decided, you know what? I'm gonna inhale the fresh air of the morning. I encountered a homophobe in the wild. Nutty! In the bright, beautiful age of 2025. I was talking to one of my friends, Zena. So if you don't know who Zena is, you know the thumbnail for Matryoshka, for Deja Vu, all of the recent like 3D song cover titles thumbnails? So Zena is the one that made it. They're a pretty cool graphic designer person. They make cool graphics, basically. So I was talking to them, and mid-conversation, I even messaged them what was going on. I was like, bro, there's this... Okay, so what happened was I was sitting, waiting for the dentist, right? It was empty. It was just... Ow. It was me and two teenagers. Very important to the story. There were two fucking teenagers there. And then, they were speaking in Indo at first. I feel like they were teenagers because... the way they talk sounded like very childish, if that makes sense. So I was like, they're teens. And then they switched to English. Now, here's the thing. There are a lot of people that can speak English in this country. That is true. But there is always a certain type. You know, there's like a certain type of accent that you pick up with your ears that you're like, this is a gamba. You know, it's either you're a sweet, sane person or you're just like kind of cringe, borderline asshole. So I heard it and they decided to speak in English, right? First, one of the teen was like, oh my god, did you know that this person in class said this the other day? Classic teen gossip. And me, being a normal person, I listened to their gossip because I'm bored. I was bored, you know, there's nothing to do. I was waiting for the dentist, so why not, right? So they were talking about their friend shit, normal stuff. And then it led to a conversation about this one friend they had that is gay. Very specific. And the way they talked about it, it was so like, I don't know. I felt low-key cringe and shit a little bit. You know how sometimes people like, when I stream, people are like, oh my god, you're a bottom. Haha, you're a bottom. You're a top and you're a bottom, right? That's like internet lingo. You know what I mean? Like, you don't go up to a person IRL and go, oh, are you a bottom? Like, you don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, on stream, people can go like, oh my god, are you a bottom? You're such a bottom. You're such a top. What, like, top energy. That shit stays in x.com. You don't go IRL and go like, oh my god, you're gay. Are you a bottom? Like, you don't do that shit. So they start talking about like, oh my god, he's a bottom. And the other person was like, what's a bottom? And they're like, oh my god, you don't know? What's a bottom? You know, really loud, by the way. So it's not even like I'm leaning over to listen. They just yapping really loudly, right? Like, you don't know what's a bottom? It's like, no, I don't. It's like, is the bottom the one that's pegging? And I quote, that's what the other person said. And the other one was like, no, it's not. It's the one, it's the opposite. You know, classic like, no way, sex, giggles, conversation. Very normal. And then, now this is the wildest part. This other person starts yapping about how much they are shocked because one of their friends came out to them as gay, right? And then I quote, he said, no, bro. He said he was gay. But like, he's not gay. He's like gay that fucks guys. Like, he didn't even say this like a joke. He said it like full astonishment. He was like, you don't get it, man. He said he was gay, but he's not gay. He's like a gay that fucks guys. And the other friend is like, what the fuck are you talking? Like, what do you mean by that? It's like, no, like, you know, like gays, right? But like, he's not gay. He's like a guy fucker. But he's a guy. He's a guy that fucks guys. And I'm just sitting there and I was on my phone and I was messaging this to Zena because I was like, bestie, you would not believe what I'm just listening to some bullshit, right? And the friend was like, I thought gay means a guy that likes guys, no? He's like, no. Gay is like a feminine guy. I didn't say that. It was the guy. He was like, no, according to him, gay is feminine. If you are a guy that fucks guys, then you are a gay that fucks guys. That is a very specific term. Like, it has to be that long and that specific. It was like, no, gay is like feminine, you know? And then the other person said, isn't that called flamboyant? And he's like, no, man, that's not flamboyant, bro. Flamboyant is like different. Okay? Gay is like feminine guy. But if you're a guy that fucks guys, then you're a gay that fucks guys. That's different. That's two different things. And they're like, no way, you guys. What happened? So now he's spinning some stories. I genuinely think half of the story is like bullshit. Like, you know how teens... I would say there's a part of the story that made me a bit sad because I'm like, oh, it reminded me that in my country, I'll just tell you guys this, but you already know, I live in Indo. And Indo being, part of the LGBTQ society, it's not really legal, right? It's actually the opposite. So the whole LGBTQ community, it's not very legal here. So sometimes you will encounter people that are either not as supportive or homophobic or just something like that, because that's kind of like quote unquote normalized-ish, but it is changing, it's like things have been improving over time. But this guy, he started talking about this one friend, and he is so proud about the fact that they bully him for being gay. And it's not even like there's no remorse. And you know how insane it is to hear that from the voice of a child? Like, hearing it from an adult, you're like, okay, old man, go fucking back to your whatever. It's like, back in my day, yeah, blah, blah, old man. Go sit back in your chair and think about what you've done. But this is like new generation, you know what I mean? Like, something about listening to new generation people talk about shit like that is so weird. And he starts talking about like, nah, man, we bully him because he's gay. Like, he said word per word. He didn't even go like, nah, we bully him because he's weird. No, he goes, we bully him, because he's gay. Like, word per word. And I'm sitting there, right? And over time, I'm getting more and more like, not angry, just like disturbed in a way. Because I think they're lying, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't look at them, obviously, because I'm not gonna fucking stare at random people. But yeah, it's kind of like grossed out, you know what I mean? So I'm sitting there and I'm slowly just like, I looked up to look at them and chat. There is no fucking way, okay? Like, these kids, I think they're lying. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but I swear, I hope they're lying. Because there is no way this shit happened. Where this happened, it was in the dentist. I was waiting in the dentist. And he started yapping about like, oh, I bullied him. Like, me and my friend, we bullied him because he's gay. And the other friend is just like laughing along and shit. And then he starts telling stories of like, yo, one of my friends, he's gay, right? Sometimes, I don't know whether this is coping. Maybe I'm copiuming. But I've heard a lot of crazy homophobic speech growing up. A lot. Especially in this country. Like, you get used to it, right? Like, if this is the first time you hear about this, you're kind of like, oh, I'm so angry. I'm fuming with anger. But this is like the gajillionth time I've heard it. So, at one point, you just kind of see the humor in it. This guy starts telling the story. TLDR. The friend went abroad.
Kids these days are lacking a lot of context and just throw things at the walls to see if they stick.
Right?
Which can end up leading to a lot of terrible mindsets in the future.
I know there's a lot of good kids out there, though. Like, that's the thing. He started telling me, I'm gonna do my best to recreate how he said it. You know this guy, right? Let's just say his name is like Jeff. You know that guy, Jeff? Yeah, he go abroad. And then he went to study, right? And then, yeah, not only Jeff already gay, right? He go abroad. And then his first day in school, the teacher also gay. Hado, why? Oh, everyone gay, right? So then now, Jeff messaging us. He's messaging us. He's saying, hey, my teacher is gay. And we're like, what the fuck, bro? You're gay. And he's like, yeah. And then he fucked his teacher. And then I was listening to that conversation. I'm looking at them. Like, I'm not even just listening. I am sitting there staring at these people, and they don't look an age above 16. Like, I'm not kidding. These kids are kids. They're kids. They're children. So I'm sitting there and I'm like you know, when my brain is like, oh my god, fuck, you're a homophobe. And then they start telling me stories and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. What? What do you mean? What the fuck are you talking about? So that's why I'm like, I think you're lying. You know what I mean? Like, that's one of those and then everyone clapped kind of stories. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think they're fucking full-ass capping. It's like, oh, and then I stood up and I said this and I said, fuck you, teacher, and everyone clapped. It's like one of those. And it's like, yo, and then he fucked his teacher. And then you know what he told me? And this is when I start sitting and I'm like, okay, you're one of those, aren't you? He's like, yeah, you know what Jeff told me one time? He said he jerked off thinking about me, man. Yeah, it's so weird. It's so weird because he said like he was jerking off thinking about me. And I'm like, what the fuck, bro? That's so weird, man. Don't do that. Yeah. And then he's like, oh my god, when was that? It's like, oh, it was a couple of years ago. But like, I mean, I don't know. I talked to Jeff yesterday too. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, so you're telling me you bullied this random kid for being gay, and one of your friends came out to you as being gay, and then he told you that he's jerking off to you. You said it's weird, but you still kept in contact. I don't know. I'm saying this could be a fake story, but it's definitely a very weird story you're spinning, right? And as these kids, he just continues talking. He's like, I don't want to repeat everything they said, but I told Xena everything. Because I'm like typing as they're talking. Like, I'm staring at them. I'm like, this is... If let's say chat, you guys are the kids, right? This is how I was doing. Because I'm looking down, typing to my friend. And I'm like, huh. I listen to them. And I'm like, huh. And then I check my phone. And Xeno's like, what the fuck did they say? And I'm like, this is what they say. And I look up. Huh. No way. Huh. What did you say? Like that. So I'm like staring. And then I look back down. I look back down, right? But the whole time, I had like a mask on and everything. But I was giving them like, they were saying some crazy homophobic shit. Is all I'm saying. It's one of those like, because of the...
For the
I don't know. The stories they say kind of sounds like cap. I feel like they didn't actually do anything bad, I think, but they were just really proud of the fact that the story, quote unquote, yeah, if it's real, is they bullied this one kid because he's gay, and then he's just like flexing it, like he's showing it off. And then one of the friends saw that I was staring at them, right? And I kept staring at them because I keep like staring and I'm typing. And I'm staring and I'm typing. And then out of nowhere, now this is when I'm like, you think I don't understand there. The friend saw me stare and then he changed the topic in Indonesian. He was like, oh, your gay friend. Yeah, and then, tau gak sih kalau misalnya ya, kita tuh kayak gini-gini. Like, oh, and they changed the topic, but they spoke in Indo with a different topic. And then they switched back to English talking about this gay topic, right? And then they switch back to Indo talking about a random topic. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, you think you are so loud and so brave. Because you thinking no one understands here. You think because you are here, no one speaks English. You don't know I'm a content creator. You don't know nothing because online. So you're saying all this, but your ayip, I will air out your ayip in the middle of the world. But I'm listening. I'm getting a little heated, but not angry. And here's the thing, chat. When I was telling Xena about it, my friend was fuming, right? It's like, oh my god, are you okay, bestie? Because me being part of that, I'm used to it. It makes me feel disappointed. I don't get angry anymore. If someone blatantly just stares me dead in the eye and go, hey, you
the
girl lover.
You good girl.
Girly. It's like if someone looks at me dead in the eye and goes like, oh my god, you're disgusting because you like women. It's like, okay, I don't know. I've heard this a lot. So eventually you don't get angry anymore. You just get really like disappointed. You know what I mean? It's kind of those like, oh, you too. But usually I hear it from older generations, not like kids. Like I don't hear it from like teenagers. And here's the logic. Usually if kids speak English and stuff like that and they whip out their iPhone 16 plus, you know what I mean? Their phone is an iPhone. They dress in hype beasts. Their hair looks like grass. Usually you are rich. And then you come from a rich family. And then you go to an international school. So not only did your family waste all that money for you, you decide to be this.
Thanks to Jessica X for
that's so disappointing. You know what I mean? Like, it's not... A part of me is disappointed because it's like, you're the next generation and you're like that. But the disappointment comes from like your parents, your mom wasted 9 months for you and then continued wasting money for you to be like this. I have people that I know that are old and they are homophobic, but it's because they knew nothing. They grew up in like a small village, in like a small isolated village, and you grew up in an international school and you have the same mentality. Waste of money, Is anyone here open-minded? In chat? No, we're very closed-minded. If you don't agree with everything I say, you are instantly permaban, gone. If I say something is true and you doubt me, gone. If you say I am wrong, gone. Yeah, so no. Oh man. They want the sad face. No way. That's true. I run my chat very strictly with an iron fist. Here's the thing. The whole time, they were saying this shit. And then, the craziest thing? The craziest turnaround I've ever seen. This guy was talking smack. Like, genuine talking smack. Like, gay people are so bad. The gay people are so gross. You know how, like, people... There's, like, the most common sides of homophobia. It's either your life is my life or your life can't affect my life. And either way, I don't understand how it works. You know what I mean? This is what I say, right? Whether whether you support it, whether you don't, how does that affect you? Like if someone in chat goes, hey, excuse me, Michi, I like to eat crayons. If I go, don't do that, I guess. How does that affect me? It's not like you eating crayons gonna fucking... That's a horrible analysis, but you know what I mean. It's like, people need to mind their own goddamn business. I eat crayons, but like, people need to mind their own goddamn fucking business. So that's where I stand, personally. But you know, I've heard a lot of homophobic speech. It's usually either people saying, this is gonna affect me. And I go, how? And they just don't know. I've had a genuine debate with like an older person. I'll tell you the story before because it's weird to me. It's either this will affect me or this is affecting me. Either way, you hit them with the how and they don't really know what to say. So then I'm watching them and they're talking smack, right? They're like, oh yeah, this guy, this gay guy, he's gonna turn me gay. Or some shit like that. He's just saying shit. And then, ring, he gets a phone call. In the middle of this heated conversation, he gets a phone call, right? He picks up his phone. And I think it's his mom or something. He just went in and his voice changed. He went, you know this gay guy. Hello? Oh, yeah, oh yeah, I'm at the dentist. Oh yeah, I'll be back soon. Oh yeah. And he ends the call and goes, yeah, man. Oh man, bro, fuck. What the fuck? I'm sitting there and I'm like, damn. All that tough talk out the window. You crazy boy. Now that is cute. If only he wasn't a freaky homophobe. But I was telling my friend, this whole time my friend is raging, right? And the whole time my friend is very sweet. Xena is very sweet. They were like, are you okay, Michi? Is this affecting you? Is this making you feel uncomfortable? And I'm like, no.
The good old bad men love their mother's trope.
Yeah, but still, I know every time I tell, like, I've experienced a lot of homophobia growing up, but every time I tell people stories like this, people are like, are you okay, Michi? Because they know, you know, I would say I'm straight. I'm pretty straight, you know, like a boiled pasta noodle. I don't tell people. I keep telling people this. I remember I have a friend. I was like, oh, come to Indo. Indo's beautiful. And they're like, is it okay if I come to Indo? I'm gay. And I'm like, yes. You're not going outside with a big sign on your chest saying I'm gay, are you? Why do you have to worry about it? Like, oh, we're lying. What do you mean we're lying low? I'm not going outside going, excuse me. I don't do that.
Noodle is hilarious.
No one knows. It's like, you don't look at me and go like, I assume. Like, no one cares about it. Unless you go like, excuse me, everyone in this public mall. I want you to know that I, a woman, loves women. I don't do that. So most of the time, people don't know. And they just say shit. You know what I mean? So I have sat in same rooms, the same chairs. I have spoken to people that are telling me how much they hate homos. Like, they say, it's like, I hate gay people. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, wow. I have to be like, oh, that's an interesting statement. They're like, yeah, they're just insert usual insult here. And I'm like, wow, why is that? It's like, yeah, because this, you agree, right? And I'm like, wow, that's an interesting statement. I'm not gonna say nothing, right? And before anyone goes, Michi, how dare you not stand up for the community? Well, because I don't want to die. You don't get it, chat. If this was not Indonesia, maybe I'll be like, excuse me, guys. Have you ever thought that your mentality is wrong? You gotta understand, I'm not about to die. I'm not gonna be like, excuse me.
But I was looking forward to arranging a big Indo gay.
In serious talk, like full serious talk, I do not like, no shit, dude. People that are like, so you support homophobia. Before that, if anyone ever thinks that way, no. I support peace. Whatever toots your hoots, you do it. I'm a very neutral guy. Dare I say, without a backbone. But as a woman that likes women, yes, I hate the... No, are you fucking crazy? I remember someone was like, oh my god, Michi does not support LGBTQ. And I was like, yeah, I don't. Because because you know what? Every time I like a woman, they just happen to be straight. It's happening, chat. I'm going crazy. It's taking over me. I'm gonna start raging. Are you crazy, chat? Let's be so for real.
Fair. You can't stand up for the community if you lose your kneecaps over there.
Yeah, that's one of the things. I keep telling people this. You can, it's like, if I were you, I'd stand up and I would say something. That's great on you. I am born and raised in this country and I am still afraid of someone beating my ass up because I sadly am not standing at a whopping 6 foot. You know, I'm not the most intimidating guy in the world. So if I stand up and I go, excuse me, I think you shouldn't say all that because I think I'm gonna get beaten. I'm dead. These people are bigger than me. So like, I'm sorry. let's just like laugh about it. But like, I can't do nothing. I could probably like comfort you
the barbecue
afterwards.
community.
But yeah, I was staring at them, and the funniest thing happened, chat, during this whole time. Because I was waiting, right? And eventually they stopped talking about this because they ran out of topics to talk about. But I was staring. All I did was just like, I stared at them. And I was like watching them because I'm like, I'm not angry, just very disgusted and disappointed. Because you're young. I expected this from an older person, but not from a younger person. But that's okay, I guess. And then I got a call. I got a call from my mom. And I decided to do the funniest thing ever. So I picked up my mom's call, right? And I was like, hey, mom. Because she was what's gonna happen is I go to the dentist with my mom, but I went to the dentist first and my mom's gonna pick me up. So my mom's asking like, hey, are you already in? What time are you gonna like get picked up? Blah, 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 blah. So I decided to speak in English to my mother. So I'm like, hey, mom. And then she's talking. I'm like, she's speaking in Indo, by the way. She's speaking in pure Indo. And I don't usually speak in English to my mother, but I went, oh yeah, I'm not in it. I'm not inside like the dentist appointment yet, but I'm still waiting. I think it'll take a bit. I think it'll take a while. There are 2 people here. So I don't know if they're gonna go first or if I'm gonna go first. But yeah, it should take around an hour. It's all right. Yeah. Thanks, mom. Call over. Ever since then, chat, 30 minutes of pure
You're
dead
exactly
silence.
just like your mom. So petty.
You don't get it. They were like talking. They were watching videos. They were doing everything. 30 minutes, pure dead silence. Like, whoop, nothing. Not a word, not a noise out of them. They're just quiet. I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay. Well, I have earphones on. Like, I can just put my earphones back in, I'm just watching shit. It doesn't bother me. But I would, like, listen to stuff. I'd look at them. And they're just, like, sitting awkwardly. And I'm like, yes, mom. Yeah, ever since then, nothing. And then, awkwardly enough, I went in first. And there's only one guy. So it's like, I went into the dentist appointment. After I got my stitches removed, I went out and they're gone. So I don't know where they went. Like, I don't know whether, like, they got their shit treated somewhere else. Because, like, if they were getting their shit treated, why were they waiting in the dentist section? You know what I mean? Like, why would you be here if you aren't going to this doctor specifically? But okay. But yeah, that was the most I did. Sadly, I couldn't go like, chat, and I stood up and I called them out. I didn't. But the only thing I did was I just decided to speak in English in front of them for a little bit.